There are now over 40,000 Ather electric scooters on the road, and every single one of them is a smart and connected machine that's sending data back to the company about how customers are using these scooters. Ather says it now has over 218 million kilometers of ride data, and it's used all of that information along with feedback from existing customers to have made this, the new Ather 450X Generation 3.
Been a long time coming, but I'm here. I was drifting, now I'm shifting gears. Now I gotta wait a lifetime. Right now this is my time, this is gonna be my year. I was gone a minute, now I'm back. Busy changing, breaking from the pack. Now waiting on a chance, I'm making my own plans. The world's gonna have to deal with that.
Wait a minute, you're probably wondering what Gen 3, because this scooter looks almost exactly the same. And you'd be right, because the new Ather 450X is pretty much identical to the current one, apart from a new set of mirrors and different tires. Everything else, from the bodywork and even the paint schemes, is the same. There isn't even a badge telling you that this is the new Gen 3 model. But hold on, before you decide to go watch something else, there are a couple of interesting changes happening underneath the skin, and one of those things is exactly what Ather customers have been asking for ages. That change would be a big increase in the range. The previous Ather 450X had a 2.9 kWh battery, but the new one is up to 3.7 kWh. That means that the Ather 450X can now offer a claimed real-world range of 105 km against the previous 85 km. Now we'll have to carry out a full review to confirm that number, but previous experience with the 450X shows that Ather's claims are realistic and that this scooter's range indicator is incredibly accurate. The Ather's fan-cooled motor gets a slight bump in peak power from 6 kW to 6.2 kW, but the continuous power output remains the same, and Ather claims the same level of performance as well. That means that the 450X will be able to hit an indicated top speed of about 90 km per hour in its top two modes. Moving to a larger battery pack hasn't only significantly increased the range, but Ather says that this new pack also has a 25% longer life. Why? Well, the answer is actually beautifully simple. Because the scooter's overall performance hasn't changed, the load on each individual cell is now less. Above that, a larger battery pack means that customers will probably end up charging the scooter less often, and that also has a positive impact on the overall lifespan of the battery pack. Ather also claims that this larger new battery pack brings a 20% improvement in thermal management. The company says that this means the scooter can now offer even more consistency in performance, whether you're riding in a hilly area or with a pillion. Beyond that, most things remain the same. The only change to the chassis is in new mounting points for the larger battery and the slightly revised suspension that has been tuned to match the new tires. Speaking of, these new MRF tires offer a significant improvement in grip, and the company has also moved to a wider 100-section rear tire. The bigger battery has resulted in a weight gain of about 4 kilos, but that's not really something you're going to notice on the move. We got to ride the scooter on the winding mountain road at Nandi Hills outside Bengaluru, and the handling now feels more sure-footed, primarily thanks to the new tires that encourage you to push a little harder. This is definitely a fun handling machine. The brakes are unchanged, which means that they are strong, but the rear still locks a little too easily. While the suspension has been retuned, the overall comfort levels are about the same, and this scooter does feel a little firm over bad roads. On the more practical side, the 22-litre boot space remains unchanged, and the same goes for the large portable charger. Now, because there are no significant changes to the chassis or the body dimensions, my main issue with the Ather 450X remains, and that's the fact that this scooter is not very comfortable for taller riders. First of all, the shape of the seat makes sure that you're sitting far forward and you can't really move back to get more comfortable. Then there's the height of the handlebar, and it will foul with your knees while taking tight turns. Now, I am aware that at 6'1", I'm on the extreme end of the scale, but if you're a tall rider, that's something you want to consider. Tall or short, all riders will appreciate the fact that the Ather's 7-inch TFT display now has smoother and faster responses thanks to the system's RAM being doubled from 1 to 2 GB. As for those new mirrors, Ather admits that the old ones were a case of form over function and that these new ones are designed to be much more functional while still being quite stylish. The company also admits that many customers have asked for a side-step footrest for the pillion rider, so they've come up with a neatly designed accessory that gels well with the scooter's design. There are also a couple of new optional bags, and the scooter continues to offer a tire pressure monitoring system as an accessory. Obviously, some of the biggest changes here, like that new battery pack, cannot be installed on previous gen Ather 450s. But the company says that the mirrors and the new tires are backwards compatible. If you want to install that neatly designed accessory sidestep, unfortunately that's not possible at the moment because it only works with the revised chassis that fits the new battery pack. However, Ather says they are trying to make that backwards compatible as well. This 3rd gen Ather 450X will replace the existing scooter, and there will be a 3rd gen Ather 450 Plus on offer as well, which will have less range and lower performance. Bookings are now open and deliveries will begin soon. Now, the bigger battery pack is going to drive the price up quite significantly, but a good amount of that has been offset by the FAME 2 subsidy and individual state subsidies. Depending on the city you live in, the price has gone up by about an average of 5,000 rupees, which is very reasonable. So that's the Ather 450X Generation 3, and as far as generation changes go, it's a bit of a disappointment when it comes to the visual department. But there are some very meaningful changes happening underneath. Now that this scooter can offer you a real-world range of over 100 kilometers, is that enough for you to consider buying one? Let us know in the comment section below. And as always, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Audio check, audio check, 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 audio check, 1, 2, check, check, check. So that's the Ather 450X Generation 3. That's the Ather 450X Generation 3. That's it. Is it happening? No, it's not. Okay, we'll try again.